My own story is a story of relationships. Bharti's DNA, Bharti's story is full of relationships. Who would have thought that people like us who come from up north, a small town, probably half of you would have not even heard about it, and probably most of you have not heard about it, could make into New India, could make their own presence felt. Because this is a story, and this story will be repeated in this country often enough. There will be new kids on the block, there will be new companies on the block, they will reinvent, they will come in, have this space come through. But if I see one link, that the story that I see of Percept or Bharti is one of relationships. When we started, we've done so many things that I really can't even, when I look back, people only see success. But there have been so many steps of failure before we've really got success in our story. If I see Percept, probably they did only one thing. They knew where they were going. I think you were much more focused than us. People of ideation, they understood this game plan and they stuck with that. If I look back before telecom romance started in mid-80s or late 80s, the amount of work that I've done, especially in Mumbai that I used to be here, from timber to plastics, I mean, you name it, how much work on imports that this group had done in those years. The only good part was we maintained relationship with the people in every field. And I think that has paid over the years. When we got the telecom license, I've not forgotten this because there are certain anecdotes which either propel you to do certain things, they bring a certain thinking. In 90s, when the telecom licenses were given, we were a $5 million company. 30 licenses were given, and probably the most blue chip companies of the country, the most blue chip telecom companies of the world were on one side. We were the smallest, I would say, speck on that map of 30 people who were selected. In one of the meetings when I went, I met one of the gentlemen who came from a huge telco from US. As I was about to leave, he buttonholed me and said, I need to have a chat with you. I said, well, go ahead. He said, look, this is not fair. We should have definitely got our license in Mumbai, that time Bombay. Well, we didn't get it. I can live with that. But Delhi, how can we not get Delhi? Probably the most well-known company of your country, and we are partners. And I could have still lived with it if I got Calcutta and Madras at that time. I was a little perplexed. And I turned around and said, look, it was a very fair, transparent auction. There was no hidden agenda. I mean, this is not a banana republic that you can just walk in and kind of trample on the way we work here. You guys lost it. It was so simple, so transparent. He looked around and he said, here's my card. And when you want to sell your license, give me a call. We'll be the buyers. This is 1992, 93. And that really turned a new leaf, a new chapter for people like us who were still young entrepreneurs, nothing to lose, and say, well, we are very glad that you've given us this offer, but no, thank you. 5 of us, we went around and said, the only way that we have to win is to execute it well. Build relationship with people who matter. Nobody was supporting us, not even vendors. Ericsson, which were a vendor partner who had kept us really on the bay, we called them and said, guys, we need some help. And once you had a license, those days it was called, if you had a telecom license, you had a minting money license. Things are very different in telecom nowadays, if you see. We flew in, me and Sunil, and I can tell you how you choose your relationship is as important. We flew to US to meet Motorola, and I can tell you, there were private jets, red carpets, champagne, you name it, everything was there. And for first-timers like us who probably were seeing the world around, it was fantastic. We flew in from US to meet Ericsson in Sweden, cold, clinical, went out for dinner, as all Indians would be, with courtesy say, well, you mind, us paying? The president of Ericsson said, yeah, please go ahead, please pay. Now, those days were tough days when you're only a $5 million company. But that gave me a very, insightful thinking of the company, that there is no red carpets. This relationship will go a long way if we are able to establish. And this is a company we should work. We negotiated a deal and said, look, we have no money to pay. We'll pay you 10% or 15% as a letter of credit. And the rest will come when the clause will say, when we are happy. He was foxed. He said, I've never heard this statement that when we are happy, please define it. I said, look, when my customer is happy making this call, you'll get paid. We shook hand over the dinner, and rest is history.